The social justice issue that I'm most interested in and most active in is education reform. When I first noticed the gaps within the educational system, I started in Georgia, especially when I transferred districts. The district that I was in, I excelled in. And when I switched, I was behind. And just based off the districts, based off being in a minority-led district versus one that was less, the requirements were a little bit different. And that hit me hard. When I was in school, I took both regular classes and advanced classes, and you could see the difference in curriculums. When I was in advanced classes, you more so got to go on field trips and even at a separate library. So definitely more resources, I feel like, and opportunity were allocated to kids that were on the advanced track. The book that kind of opened my eyes that I read when I was at Cal Berkeley was written by Jeannie Oakes, How Schools Structure Inequality, and really is by design. It creates social hierarchy in a sense. Most of the time, that separation is determined by location, race, and how much money they often make. I remember tears hitting the page because this whole time, this had been going on and I was unaware of it. Educational inequality is the most obvious and potent form of bias and racism in our country. Until our education system sees us all as winners and worth putting effort into, I will continue to use my platform and voice to help change it. Using this platform is a privilege, and I thank the OGs before me who led the way and standing up for social change. OGs like Bill Russell. When you talk about the idea that a basketball player can do more than just play basketball, there's no question that Bill Russell has to be at the center of that conversation. He's a true OG. I should probably start by making it clear what a baller he was. Russell played 13 seasons with the Celtics and he won 11 championships. That's almost impossible. But with Russell in the middle of everything, rebounding, blocking, passing, scoring, he made it possible. Ray Auerbach, the Celtics coach, was colorblind with the way he put together his teams, but the rest of the league and the country was a whole other story. Russell was called every awful name you've ever heard when he played. In 1961, the Celtics went to Kentucky for an exhibition game, and Bill and his black teammates were denied service at a restaurant. They decided to boycott the game. Even at home, outside of Boston, police trailed him when he drove through town. One time, his house was broken into and vandalized. His trophies were destroyed. The N-word spray painted on the walls. But Bill wasn't intimidated by this hatred, and he wasn't going to let that kind of abuse deter his mission. And his courage lifted him to the forefront of a generation of black athletes who work for change all across the country and the world. He went to Mississippi after the assassination of civil rights icon Medgar Evers and made a statement by running an all-integrated basketball clinic there. He campaigned for the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act, and he was a leading voice for black athletes who believed in the fight against injustice. All these years after he won those 11 titles as a player, the last two as a team's player coach, by the way, I think the most important thing to understand about Bill Russell isn't just how hard he fought, but simply how he fought. He wrote books, articles, magazines. He educated himself and others about why the struggle was worth it. And what was the best way to fight it? Bringing so many others into the effort too. Maybe more than anything else, education was huge for Bill, and symbolic too. His father's schoolhouse was burned down by racists, and his daughter graduated from Harvard Law School. To this day, well into his 80s, Bill's still using his voice to teach and support our generation, and we're grateful for that. He's the model we should all aspire to emulate. He's the inspiration we still need every day. He's the reminder of why the fight is worth it. What Bill Russell has done has been so monumental. He's definitely, changed the idea of what an athlete should be and what a human being should be. I think as athletes, we have so much influence. So for us to use our platform to keep conversations alive, I think that should be a part of the role. And that's what my focus is more so on. Education reform is important to me, of course. The resources are not equal. States have boards where they decide what resources get allocated and what resources don't. 9 times out of 10, minority communities are bottom on that list. Racism is a power dynamic. It's not you not liking me. because of my skin complexion. To be honest, I don't lose sleep over that, but not getting the job, not being able to go to school, not being able to get opportunities, that's where it becomes tough. So I've commenced a program through my fellowship at MIT. The goal is to create a bridge from higher education to our low-income community, attempting to align, kids that we neglect with opportunities that they normally wouldn't get, internships with resources, and hopefully that could change the education system a little bit, one step at a time. When I walked into MIT for the first time, there was a wow factor that I know many people from my neighborhood would never experience when it comes to educational institution. I want to bridge that gap, make that experience more accessible. To young people, it's not a coincidence if you're at school and feel that you're not being treated equally when it comes to your education. Let's continue to raise this awareness and challenge these issues together.